So funny. Okay. Hello. I am Dina Farish from the Mindful Mom Revolution, sitting here with the wonderful Janet Namaste of Namaste with Love. We are going to be talking today about Janet's journey, how she heals people, and the wonderful regression work that she does. So, Janet, thank you for being here with me today.
Hey, Dina, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk about this because you are actually the person who turned me on to regression work. And now you will be facilitating our workshop together this Saturday, bringing loads and loads of healing to other moms and women who are looking to have a transformational experience together. So I'm wondering, for people that are not familiar with regression work, can you explain what that is and what that means?
Sure. Regression work is just really a form of relaxation. And what regression work does and why it's so healing, it goes to the root of the symptom or the root or an ailment. So if somebody has a fear of the water and they can't remember why they have a fear of the water, of certain trauma, they may have seen something or they may have experienced something as children or perhaps even in prior lifetimes. So what regression does, it's a form of relaxation, of meditation, and in where we go to the root cause of why this situation has happened. But you don't feel you can feel all the emotions if you choose to, but whenever I'm doing a guided regression, I make sure that the person, if they don't want to be in it, they can actually like rise above it as if they're watching a movie. So it's an objective point of view where at the same time, the same results would happen, where it's a very healing one. But the person and each soul needs to be ready for this. And healing is not forced or anything like that. It's only when people are open for it. And really, whenever any type of hypnosis or meditation work is done, it really has to be with an open heart, with no expectations. And it could even be for entertainment purposes if you choose to. But like that's what kind of happened in my experience. So it's really one in which no matter what a soul is ready to do, they're going to get exactly what is needed for them at that moment, even if it's just relaxing or proper breathing. So not everybody can go to the root of it, but they'll go exactly where they need to go.
And I love that you said that, because a few people actually questioned me and said, well, what is this work? I'm a little scared to do this. What does that mean? But you put it so beautifully. I'll let you kind of elaborate on that. For people that maybe have a fear around what this regression work is and what it means and what we'll be doing together on Saturday, what does that look like? What does that mean? And is there a way to alleviate the fears?
Oh my God, totally. Everyone has free will, right? And we make our choices in life. There's destiny and then there's free will. And you have full control of your body, of your senses, of everything. It's not like it's some type of hypnotherapy where I'm going to, we're going to go back and we're going to be barking like dogs, and then I'm going to take you all to my house and you're going to color coordinate my closet. It isn't anything like that.
Right?
That'd be freaking awesome, right? And tutor my kids and take them to football practice. That would be a bonus. But you have full control at all times. That's the whole thing. I had my first experience almost, wow, I guess it is 20 years ago with the infamous Dr. Brian Weiss, who is actually the pioneer of past life regression. And I too was fearful in the beginning because you don't know what to expect. But if you can meditate, if you can breathe, you can meditate. If you can go to sleep and wake up the next day, then you're able to go under hypnosis. People think that just because they're type A, alpha female, yeah, me, hey, so am I, but that they cannot be hypnotized, or they cannot, I am completely type A, alpha female, and if I'm able to just surrender and let go, anybody could do it, because all it is just a deep state of calm. It is the most amazing feeling. you feel like you just slept for 8 hours, or you just got back from Aruba, or like an amazing trip of relaxation. Because when you are in that beautiful state of peace, of tranquility, of just relaxation, endorphins, like there's a chemical reaction that happens in your body, and endorphins are being released, and there's the most calming effect. It's really a feeling of just bliss. It truly is. There's nothing fearful at all. This isn't no, that's manipulation stuff. We don't go there. No.
How does this work heal?
How does this work heal? Well, it goes to the root of the issue. So for instance, and what you think you may, what you think you may be going for may not be exactly what you need, right? So sometimes what we need and what we want are two different things, right? They say God gives you what you need, not what you exactly want. So although we're going back, and the regression that we're going to be doing this Saturday is one in which to find the connection between mother and child. And even if you don't have children, it's between you and your own parents and the soul connection. Even if we're thinking about it, okay, let me find the connection between my mother and myself, and why did we choose one another, and what is it that we're trying to, the lessons that we're trying to go through. When we're going through a regression and we go back to the root of what may be our blockage or a certain ailment, it may not be exactly what we expected, because it's in our subconscious mind. It has nothing to do with logic. Absolutely not. And that's the way it heals, because when you remove logic out of the situation, that's when the truth starts like really downloading, and that's where it starts healing. That's the only thing that will ever heal, is the truth, period.
Makes sense. How did you get into this work? How did you find yourself on this journey? How did you get into this, and how did you get to this place where you knew you wanted to share and help others heal through this?
So in the 1990s, during high school, I read this book, which I have it right here. Okay, this is the original cover, Many Lives, Many Masters by Dr. Brian Weiss. Okay, and I read it in my teenage years. And then years later, when I was 22, I want to say, I was working in the city. I graduated with a degree in education. Later on, I furthered my studies in computer science. So it's left brain, right brain with what I do right now. And Dr. Brian Weiss was doing, this beautiful seminar in Manhattan where I was working. And I went there, decided just for entertainment purposes, because I was so intrigued with the idea of past life regression. And the book really changed my life. It'll change anybody's life. This book is amazing. And there were about at least 200 people in the audience. And out of those 200 people, they chose a small group to be televised on a national television show, which was Sally Jesse Raphael at the time. Remember with the red glasses?
Yep.
Yeah. So out of those hundreds and hundreds of people, I was chosen to be regressed one-on-one with him. And the next day, they brought us back, like the small group, to be one-on-one again, regressed and televised. And what came out during the regression was simply amazing. And here I have, like, I'm in a studio audience, right, with cameras, and there's all the lights, and you would think there's so many lights, like how can you like be completely out? But I was completely out. And what came out of that regression was the most life-changing pivotal moment of my entire life.
Wow.
And I mean, it was to the point where I was crying on national television. I had mascara coming down on my face, and I couldn't even wipe it because it's left brain, right brain. But Dr. Brian Weiss is amazing. And after that, that's when I chose that I needed to go on this particular path of healing, because it was the information that actually came out during the regression.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. How interesting. Well, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I was happy to hear this all just now. And I'm excited to be in the presence of your work on Saturday, be in community of other women who are also on this journey, and to have your power, because people may not know this when they see you, but you have a lot of power in that little beautiful package of yours. When you start your clearings and you start a session, it is powerful. It is powerful. So I'm excited to be with you together on Saturday to experience this in a group setting with other women who are open and receptive to it, and to really have this transformational experience together.
It's going to be amazing. You know, can I quickly elaborate of what happened on television?
Yeah.
That time, I don't even know like how they even archive those things, because now it's on. I have it on VHS somewhere, but it's in boxes. We moved from place to place to place to place. But perhaps if I share this story, maybe it'll shed some light of why I do what I do. Because what came out during the regression, when Dr. Brian Weiss put me, let's say, into this beautiful deep healing state, and he told me to go back to the root of what's blocking me. You fill out a form prior, obviously it's all legal stuff, but then at the same time, I filled out a form of what it is that I wanted to accomplish or to get to the root of. And I'm like, maybe my fear of the dark, maybe my fear of flying, I don't know. But what actually came out, and mind you, I'm with my husband for over 20 years, the love of my life, love of my lives, plural. And what came out in that regression, it looks like, do you remember the viewfinder when we were little? Like those red, like things where you just see different images pop up, you know? Yep. And it isn't segmented in any order or anything like that. It would be like a bird all of a sudden, like a bracelet. It's something like completely random. But when you're under hypnosis or in this beautiful meditative, we can't logically take it all in, right? So, but you feel it and you know it's the truth. Every single cell of your body feels it. So here we are, I'm under, and I started speaking in a French accent. He took me back to where the root cause was. And here at the time, I believe my husband and I were engaged. We were engaged. It was in my early 20s. And nobody knew the reason why him and I actually broke up in between. Like, we were dating. Only maybe a best friend. And the real reason was that he said, listen, I love you, but I don't know if I really want children. And it was extreme. This is extremely, extremely personal. I said, well, if you don't want kids, then we can't be together. Since I was a little girl, I dreamt of being a mother. That's all I really want, is just to be a mother. I cannot wait to be a mother. But I was always afraid of childbirth. So obviously we're together for over 20 years. We fixed that issue. And here we are. Well,
that he changed his mind.
He changed his mind, yes. He took the leap of faith, right? And here we are under hypnosis, and nobody knew this, right? What came out was I was speaking in this beautiful French accent. I was pregnant at the time, and not in real life. In the late 1800s in Versailles, in France. And I knew that it was my husband, who's, my husband now, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. And as soon as I saw his eyes, I knew it was him. And that's where the tears began, because tears are, it's your soul, it's soul's recognition of the truth. When you see somebody, the eyes are the windows to the soul, right? You know right away when you look in someone's eyes, if they're honest, if they're lying, you know immediately. And right away when I saw my husband's eyes, whether it's imagination or whether it was real, I knew it was him, but he didn't look like him, just the eyes. So here I am pregnant, and that's where the tears began again on national television. And Dr. Weiss asked, why are you crying? And I said, because I want to see this child. I want to give birth to this child. I want to see her, and I'm never going to see her. I'm never going to see her. And I was like crying uncontrollably. So he tapped my shoulder and he said, all right, go forward, because I felt the pain. I actually felt the physical, emotional pain. And when he tapped my shoulder, the next scene in my mind was me floating and seeing a little child, a little girl, and my husband being a little bit disconnected at that moment because he just lost his wife, the love of his life. And this was in my early 20s. Fast forward now, years later, at 28, now present, New York City, I give birth to my first child. And she was born blind. My little girl in real life was born with a condition that would cause permanent blindness. So it wasn't like she couldn't see completely. She was able to see colors and so on and so forth. And that's when I left the corporate world. And I knew that I needed to dedicate every single ounce of me of healing this child. And this was the same soul, because I saw her eyes, that I saw during my regression. And I'm giving another chance to give everything and anything to her. And I said, this child's going to see. And at 6 months, we found an amazing surgeon, because nobody wanted to do surgery on her, who decided, let's take the leap, let's do this surgery, let's do 2 eyes. And the next day, when she was 6 months and 3 days old, I'll never forget, was the first day she smiled at us. That was the first day she saw us. And that's what changed my life completely, because only the truth can heal. And it's because of that trauma. And she had therapists 9 to 12 times a week. I can't even begin to tell you. And that's when I actually began doing this type of work for a living. But this is something that I've been doing my entire life. But that one moment when I met Dr. Brian Weiss, and he actually trained me in regression as well, changed my life forever. So I really hope that everyone on Saturday that we meet, that we're just open to expect the unexpected, but just relax and have an open heart. And we're all in this together, and everyone's here for the same purpose. And really it is to find happiness, to find love, understanding, compassion, because that's really what we truly all are.
Yeah, wow. What a story. What a story. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for just sharing part of your journey story with me and with the internet world. And thank you for being here and for showing up on Saturday and continuing to bless the world with your work.
Dina, thank you. You're a blessing yourself. Thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.